Both teams sitting at 6-6. Cowboys at Bears tonight on NFL Network. It's Thursday Night Football. And this is Good Morning Football. We're presented by Intuit QuickBooks, live in New York City. Frank Caliendo is one of my favorite guests on the program ever.
Amazing.
You shut it down.
So talented.
Everybody does a Christopher Walken or a Schwarzenegger. I've never heard anybody do a John Madden, and he's the first to do it, and he's the classic. It kills me.
Should have seen your face watching him do John Madden. It was something.
Yeah, that was my Tom Brady. It was incredible. Frank Caliendo, who knew?
Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, we're all here for this game tonight. It's time with Lee Block.
Lee Block.
Let's bring in Stacey Dales. She is freezing her butt off at Soldier Field to bring us all of the goods. And Stacey, I remember Thanksgiving Day, you were on our show, and the Bears are when they were playing the Lions, rather, and you said that the key for Mitchell Trubisky was to get off to a fast start, and he succeeded. He did that. So, what will be the key to success tonight against the Cowboys? How can they do that again?
Great memory, Kay. You're right. They wanted to get off to one last week, and they did. But a couple things have helped this offense. Of course, Trubisky coming off his best game of the season in that Thanksgiving game, 338, 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick, 118.1 passer rating. He was awesome. They think they finally have their identity back. It's taken 14 weeks, but here we go if you're the Bears. I talked to wide receiver Allen Robinson. 2 things have helped the Chicago Bears. Number one, he said we've established the run, and because of that, we've been able to take some shots down the field and get some big plays. They were missing those. The other part of it is essentially that they have been much better on first down. 22 first downs against the Detroit Lions. It's made them more manageable on down and distance later on. And I mentioned the run game, though, and I really give a lot of credit to the Bears coaching staff, Mark Helfrich and company, and Harry Heastan, the offensive line coach, and then Matt Nagy, for making a change on the offensive line. They took Cody Whitehair from guard back to center, where he was a Pro Bowler last season, and they pushed James Daniels to the guard position, and that I think that has really helped them. They did it about 3 weeks ago. But bottom line for these incoming Cowboys, the Cowboys have struggled defensively, you guys, getting turnovers. They have none over the past 4 games. They've also struggled shutting down big plays, and because of those aforementioned things the Bears are doing, could be a challenge for them tonight.
Stacey, now Dak Prescott and that Cowboys offensive line, they have their work cut out going up against Khalil Mack. So with Khalil Mack breathing down Dak Prescott's neck, how are the Cowboys going to put up points like you on the basketball court up against that pass rusher?
Dropping it, always dropping it, Nate. Well, they're going to have some big plays against this defense, but they're also going to have to account for number 52. And what's interesting, you guys, about Khalil Mack is people want to criticize where are the numbers. 6.5 sacks this year, 10 quarterback hits. Not the same as last year, but he's getting more attention. And Matt Nagy says he may even be better. Chips, stunts, double teams, triple teams, quadruple teams he is seeing. I asked Mack this week, you guys, what's the weirdest pass pro you've seen this season, or maybe the most? And he had to really think about it, you guys. And he went back to week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings. He said at one point, listen to this, 4 guys from the Vikings were attacking him in pass protection. And so when you listen to Jason Garrett talk, he's a rare guy. The adjectives, you guys, that he used to describe Mack: quickness, acceleration, explosiveness, strength, balance, body control, relentless spirit. He's a great run defender. They've got to know where 52 is at all times because they want to protect Dak Prescott, who is leading the NFL in pass yards. And by the way, you guys, it's about 29 degrees right now. Cold, brisk morning in Chicago, but it's going to warm up to about 40, 41 degrees by the time kickoff is here. It's going to be a nice, clear night.
Stay warm, Stacey. Weird, those words are the same words we use to describe Peter Schrager here on the show, right?
That's right, every morning.
Stacey, we love you. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. It's all going down tonight. Cowboys at Bears. Soldier Field is the place of action tonight. Thursday Night Football, 8 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network, on Fox, streaming on Prime Video. More GMFB on the way with some other storylines. We do want to focus on this one because it's time for the Throwdown.
Oh, I love this.
Thursday.
Let's go. All right.
2 great franchise players on opposite sides of the ball will take the field tonight. I would like to know, who would you rather start your franchise with, Zeke Elliott or Khalil Mack? Roar!
Well, neither are exactly having franchise starting careers seasons this year. I mean,
yes, you're getting choked up about it, man. Yeah, I know how you feel about Khalil Mack. I'll take the straight.
No, I'll take it.
While you get your emotions together.
I'll take it. It's nice to talk about Khalil Mack on the show this season.
Whoa.
He hasn't been there. He hasn't been evident. And yet I would still take him over Ezekiel Elliott because of
Really?
the position he plays. He's a pass rusher of the highest order. And for whatever reason, they can't get him going. Nate, you said earlier that teams are double teaming him and triple teaming him. I don't care. Lawrence Taylor found a way. Like, you still get your sack numbers if you're Khalil Mack, the guy you've been built up to, and if you're traded for 2 first-round picks. Ezekiel Elliott's a running back. He's not in the top 5 in rushing. I'm not starting my franchise with a running back. I am going with the pass rusher, Khalil Mack, despite not the 2019 he was hoping for.
Fair.
I will say this, because I don't appreciate when people say, oh, where is he at? He's disappeared. Shay, it's hard, man, when you have 2 guys, sometimes a third running back coming out the backfield, chipping you on every play. I'll take Khalil Mack as well, because even if you have an offensive game plan against Khalil Mack, doing so, other guys on that defense can step up. If you shut down Zeke sometimes, the offense is shut down. So for me, I'm going with Khalil Mack because of what he brings to the table. Sometimes it's good to have a guy on your team that can attract so much attention. That way other individuals can make plays. It's just that the defense isn't stepping up for him.
And you sort of say sack numbers are...
It doesn't matter when you're that good. When you don't look at Aaron Donald and say, where's your numbers at? You look at him, you're like, whoa, he's a Destructicon on every play.
Would you say that Khalil Mack has had a season up to expectations? Am I being wrong in saying that he's done nothing?
Statistically, but when you watch this game, just pay attention to the plays. Khalil Mack, when he is one-on-one, he gets to the quarterback and makes a play. But sometimes he gets washed out when it's 2 or 3 guys on him. I mean, he's good, but he ain't that good.
With injuries, he's feeling more pressure, too.
Many of the faults of Khalil Mack can be pointed at Leonard Floyd, but I agree with Peter, the greats find a way. However, we've started this season with Jerry Jones, who says his hand doesn't cramp when he writes checks, deciding to write a check to make Ezekiel Elliott the highest paid running back of all time. Guys, they're 6-6. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys would have a different record if Ezekiel Elliott was still in Mexico? Do you really think that he's made that much of a difference on this team? Do you think that they're 3-9 without him? Do you think that they're 4-6? Because I don't. I really don't. All that money, and for what? He's a good player, and he does things for them. I think it was a bad decision that's going to get worse with time. I think this is a resounding answer, Khalil Mack.
And he's one of the better offensive lines, one of the highest paid offensive lines in the league to run behind. I don't know if that's coming along in your franchise decision. You might have to bring those big boys with him if you're picking him over the pass rusher. All right, let's look at the quarterbacks on both squads. Plenty of pressure, speaking of pressure, for each to get a win, to get their team a little closer, a little more comfortable in that playoff picture. So, which quarterback has to put the game on their shoulders more tonight? Is it Dak Prescott or the Truh?
I think it's Trubisky. I do, because I really do think they're going to have to score some points tonight. I think Dallas is that talented. And yet, on the Dak side, let me just point out one thing. I'm looking at Amari Cooper to have a big night tonight. We have the conversation all the time, best receiver in the league, and it's can't guard Mike and DeAndre and Julio. Like, Tyreek. Amari Cooper never comes up. Classic second-tier receiver. That's just facts. Stephon Diggs had 100 yards against this Bears team. Kenny Golladay did. Michael Thomas did. Prince Amukamara is out. He's one of their best corner. If Amari, I know you don't say much, and I respect it. Like, if not now, when? This is a big night for him.
Yeah, he needs to get out of that wide receiver 1B conversation and prove that he can be a wide receiver 1A, especially in the situation he's in where he wants to get paid. I'll say Trubisky as well. Trubisky, he has these up and down games where one game he'll throw the ball 40 times. You're like, you know what? He has a good arm, and he can be accurate, and he can feed his wide receivers. And then there's another game where balls are literally skipping on the ground before they get to their wideout. So Mitchell Trubisky, he's going to have to carry the load in this game.
There's a couple famous questions in the world. To be or not to be, right? That was it. How about, can swag be found? Like, is that genetic, or is swag something, is it nature versus...
What do you mean?
Can Mitchell Trubisky have a little bit of swag coming off that game last week? That was a huge 90-yard drive that they took the Lions down in their building on Thanksgiving, saved the Bears season. Is there maybe some juice to Trubisky coming off the biggest game of his career last week when he got that win and saved the season? I'm going to go Trubisky, and there's 4 weeks left to this thing. They're still alive. Trubisky could completely change the narrative on his career in Chicago if he leads this team to the playoffs and throws them on his back. I'm going Trubisky, and I think he gets the job done.
I think both of these teams are putting too much on their quarterbacks' backs. You know, we talked about the Cowboys. They're throwing more than they have in the past 7 years. You look at Chicago, their run game is ranked 28th in the National Football League. You're asking both of them to do too much. So I think the winner of this one is whoever has to do the least.
Oh, that's a good take.
It's counterintuitive, but that's how I feel about the way that both of these teams have used their quarterbacks and put the pressure on both.
Interesting.
All right, one more. Let's finish things off with a musical melee between Dallas and Chicago. From Dallas, it's the man who would do anything for love except for that meatloaf. And for Chicago, my hometown, the guy who taught us about Jeremy, even flow, porches, I could go on. Mr. Eddie Vedder. I'd like to know, who is the better frontman, Meatloaf or Vedder?
First of all, I'll bet every penny I have what Traeger's answer is going to be.
No, you don't know that yet.
The easy answer for me is Eddie Vedder. Favorite band of all time. Shocker. I know that. I saw Pearl Jam abroad last year, and at 54 years old, he still abounds with energy, positivity. The show's never been better. I will say, there's always this one moment in the times I've seen Pearl Jam where they finish a song and he's like, I got to talk for a minute about Mike Pence. And you're like, oh, come on. Can you just play Dissident, please? When I was in college, it was Dick Cheney. The political thing is not the reason I'm at the concert. So it's just a little thing for me. But as much as I respect
Kyle.
the loaf. Huh?
I said, okay, Kyle.
That's my thing.
I got you.
So I'll go Eddie.
Guy in his 40s on sports TV liking Eddie Vedder. Kyle,
crazy.
You're one of a kind, dude.
Yeah.
You're one of a kind.
I like it. Let me tell you about IPAs, Peter.
You forgot to mention, and tell me if I'm wrong, you were on a scooter.
Yes, I had a blown-out Achilles at the time, so I was on a scooter at the concert.
You went cobblestone streets in Europe to go see Pearl Jam.
That's how much I like them.
I'm going with the loaf.
Really?
I'm going with the loaf.
Pay me.
I'm going with the loaf. I will do anything.
Are you talking about the food or the singer, Peter?
I'll do both. I'll do both. Do anything for love, but I will not do that.
What is the thing he won't do? Is that known?
I won't do it.
Is that known?
I won't do it.
No, he won't.
Meatloaf by a landslide. Vedder. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Enjoy it.
Hi, oh, Nate, hi.
Hey,
How are you?
Oh, don't act like you don't like these bands.
Please, Nate, come on, yes.
There's just certain
we
gaps
go.
in my musical Rolodex.
has a
Okay.
I'm not saying I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, there's a lot in every
Solo
kind of
album.
category.
He's always at Wrigley Field going crazy. He's great.
Yeah, listen.
Okay.
I appreciate them for what they are.
Don't you claim Seattle?
Do you like Meatloaf?
Yeah, I love Meatloaf.
Pick Meatloaf.
Nate, you
Okay, but
grew
I
up in Seattle. You
also
can't act
love
like you
Pearl
don't know
Jam.
Pearl Jam.
No, I know Pearl Jam. I just don't know Pearl Jam.
Yeah, great. Tell us about Macklemore then. Come on. What do you think? You got to make a choice.
I'm going with Pearl Jam.
Okay.
All right?
I almost made
Great.
Hey, Seattle, let him hear
Kyle
it.
Brandt-like joke based on the title of one of Pearl Jam's songs.
Tell me what song.
Not gonna
Tell
do
me
it.
what album.
Up next, are we about to witness a storybook legend from Eli Manning? We're excited about this.
You'll have a nice even flow that weekend, I hope.
And will Patrick Mahomes break out of his fantasy and passing funk? It's time to break out the shredder.
Even Floyd is age. It's a
That's
good
what
thing.
I'm saying.
It's a good thing.
I don't have it.
God.